So you want something that's really going to help you grow and change and morph and get to the abundance that you're looking for, not just for you, but also for your family and your friends. A very, very key thing that most people avoid is being very clear about who they are. Today's lesson is all about identity. If you don't know who you are, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I'm going to give you a few things that you can concentrate your efforts on so that as you are growing and learning your identity, because listen, every millisecond you change, every experience will get you thinking and seeing things differently. So you want to make sure that you're following a few steps that keeps you anchored in who you are in the moment and keep you focused also on where you're going as an individual. So I learned very quickly about identity. And one of the things that I learned about identity is if you don't know who you are, you'll always go back to what you know. And for me, what I knew was, growing up in poverty, growing up on welfare. And until I put some steps in place to reshape and remorph my thinking about my identity, I kept going back to what I know. I even kept physically going back to the community that I knew. And it wasn't good for me, but it was what I knew. So first step is, who do you want to be? Most often when I ask this question, I get answers like, I want to be rich. No, you don't want to be rich. It's something about a rich person that you're drawn toward. What is it? Is it security? Is it a nice home? Is it the ability to have whatever you need as far as resources and materials and enough left over for other peace? Is it the peace that comes along with having money in the bank? What is it about being rich that you want to be like? It's not just being rich. That's a very vague statement that most people say, and then it keeps them from attaining something greater because they're not clear on what exactly that means to them identity-wise. So for me, what that meant, or the person I wanted to become, is I wanted to have enough, not just for me, but enough for me to help other people. That to me is someone I wanted to become. I wanted a nice home where I could raise my kids safely. That was some person. That was a person I wanted to become. I also wanted to have nice things, quality things, but not because I'm materialistic persons, because that kind of stuff don't break down. Growing up, I always had stuff that had to be rigged or taped or fixed, or, I could only use it for a little bit of time because it was cheap. It was cheaply made and the materials were cheap. No, I wanted quality stuff. So for me, in identifying the person I wanted to become, I wanted someone that had the affordability to have nice things that didn't break down, or a nice place to live, and enough resources to be able to support myself and a lot of other people. So in order for me to get started with that, and I'm giving you a suggestion, a recommendation, a step to take, is I had to identify people that were already like that. And so I did a lot of research, a lot of study, and this was, slightly before the whole internet thing. So I spent a great deal of time reading books and biographies and libraries. I studied people that lived the lifestyle that I was looking to live, and then I started taking steps toward that. The other thing that I did was I was very clear in what I wanted to be, and I made sure I got that on paper. So like I just broke down my list of identifiers for myself, you want to make a list of identifiers for yourself. Some people want to be very fashion forward, so they want to look good. And in addition to feel good, write that down. Some people want to be able to write a $10,000 check to take care of a community need. Write that down. These are all identifiers of the person you desire to become. If it's clear on paper, you can clearly walk it out. Another thing that I would do, and I would say that this is one of the harder steps for most people, is I would spend time with myself. Most often we don't know that we're thinking what we're thinking and what is causing us to do what we do. And the best way to determine what triggers you, what inspires you, what impassions you, and what is directing you internally is to spend time with yourself. Journal. Or even ask yourself the questions, why did I just think that? Why did I just do that? Why did that statement from that other person trigger me? Until you can start identifying the things that already made you, it'll be really hard to identify things that are going to help to reshape you. So you want to find out what triggers you? What made you who you are right now? And make sure you stay current with yourself. So once you spend time with yourself, and I do that a number of ways. I do that with 10-minute quiet time where it's just me and my journal and nothing else. I also do that by having good friends and mentors around me that say, hey, T, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you just did this, or you said this like this. Are you upset? No, I'm not upset. That's just how I talk. So I would have people around me that would help me to see me. That's very, very important. And in you getting to know you and spending time with you, you can grow you. Now, here's something really important for you to know. You cannot grow, you cannot become anything that you hate, dislike, ignore, don't invest in. If you don't invest in you and your own growth and the study of you, you'll continue to live a life in an identity that will lend to your past, but not to your future. So again, you want to make sure that you're spending time with you. You also want to make sure that you're appreciating who you were. You're appreciating who you've become. Never mind the mistakes. A lot of times people get stuck on, oh, I blew it and that makes me a bad person, or, oh, I was on welfare, that makes me a broke person, a poor person. None of those things identify you, especially if they happened 5 minutes ago. Whatever is done is done. You always have minute by minute, moment by moment opportunity to reshape who you are, strengthen who you are, and better who you are. So nothing you did before has the opportunity to define you unless you let it. So you want to stay current with yourself and be very, very clear about the person that you want to evolve into. And again, that starts with writing it down and spending time with yourself, and then making sure that you are appreciating who you were, because that's who you were and that's what got you this far. Appreciating who you are now, because that's who you are right now in this moment. But you also want to appreciate, be grateful, and say it with your mouth for the person that you're striving to become. The gratitude, especially for you, especially for anything that you want in life, that gratitude will draw it to you. You want to get mentors, get people around you that are living, being, exhibiting the person that you want to become. Read their books, listen to their messages, get a lunch with them, pick their brains with questions. You also want to use your imagination. Again, growing up, I didn't have a whole lot, so my imagination was such an instrument that propelled me toward I wanted to become. Close your eyes and see yourself, flying a plane. Close your eyes and see yourself flying in first class. Close your eyes and see yourself doing these things. If you can activate those things inside of you, there's a higher probability of those things existing outside of you. So that's another key. You got to see it before you can be it. And most people don't always do that. Another thing is you want to dress the part. I know, again, when I was looking to shift into CEO business mode, I couldn't show up in, my hoodie every day. There were days where I had to go to meetings and meet with partners and do deals and stuff like that. And I had to dress the part. So I wasn't uncomfortable in those scenarios. I had to dress the part before I was in position where I had to dress the part. So every day I would work on my appearance. Every day I would work on how my hair should be looking. Every day I would try to figure out how to make myself the most presentable as this new person that I was striving to become. You start practicing that right now. So again, identity is key. We're talking about steps to abundance, steps to riches, steps to more, steps to your best. Be clear about who it is that you're saying you want to be, and know your why. Know where you're at, see where you're going, and don't give up as you're on your journey to identifying yourself as your best self. And one small thing to add: you never ever stop evolving and growing and becoming until you die. So never ever get stuck in an identity. There's always more. There's always better. Stay current with yourself and keep growing.